Hey guys, Matt here from Crypto Coffee. Today I'm going to make another video because I'm on a little bit of a roll and I know how YouTube likes that consistency in their little algorithm. So in order for me to get a bunch of subscribers, I'm going to need your help too. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, guys. Just press it. Just smash the fuck out of it. And then also like this video, share it with your friends, family, whoever you want. Significant other, whatever. I might need a few more females in my audience. It's looking literally 100% male. But anyway, you guys might have been noticing new HEX all-time highs. It's never been a greater day to be a holder of HEX. So if you own HEX, congratulations. If not, you might want to jump on the train. Not financial advice. Really do whatever you want. I'm going to be doing another rant today about God knows what. Let's see, I talk about HEX a lot in terms of the fact that it's a black swan event that I don't think a lot of people are going to see coming. And it has to do a lot with the timing of the whole thing. So releasing this in the bottom of a bear market after everybody's been totally wrecked and everyone's got a bad taste in their mouth from promoting the scam of the week back in 2017. And people are getting behind this idea that HEX is just another one of those scams, right? And it's really, really easy to say that. And I really understand that. But I do believe that it's possible for one project out of, say, 1,000 or 2,000 to actually be a diamond in the rough and be an event that changes crypto, that facilitates mass adoption in a way like no other crypto has ever really done before. And it's a new technique. It's a new approach. We'll see if it pays off, but from everything I've seen, it looks like it's got all the components, all of the pumpamentals, as Richard likes to say, but really just all of the things that would make it attractive to buy and unattractive to sell from that standpoint. So the whole kind of strategy that I have when I look at crypto and investing is just that. It's investing. It's not trading. So I don't have I have a little bit longer of an attention span. I'm not like the wannabe day trader that just gets wrecked over and over. I've seen people trade the right way. I'm not saying trading is bad, but I am an investor, and my strategy is to patiently just wait and hold stuff. And guys, I hold Bitcoin too. So if you think I'm hating on Bitcoin, I'm on your team. I'm on Team Crypto, not on Team X coin or Y coin. The name is Crypto Coffee for a reason. It's not HEX coffee. It's not Bitcoin coffee. It's Crypto Coffee. All right. Really, just the whole idea of this channel is to help find the others and to help the others find me, as we all want the same things. We all want crypto adoption. Unfortunately, when you have an idea that's unproven and that goes against a lot of common wisdom, and that's totally novel and brand new. For example, a coin that's entire thesis is based off the premise that price appreciation drives adoption. And so it's designed to appreciate because it's designed to drive adoption. And I think that's what a lot of people don't get, is that's the entire hypothesis here. Well, the whole cruelty of peers thing is never been more evident than in crypto. And so people that don't agree with your idea, they will literally hate you and despise you because you have different ideas, right? And so I'm just trying to find a middle ground here. And really, I guess my audience is to anyone that's on the fence about HEX that doesn't know what to think. I'm just here to say, hey guys, it's okay to like this coin based off of its foundational design and ideas built into it. It doesn't have to be, you're blindly following Richard Hart, or you're blindly following Tone Vase, or name your other crypto influencer, right? You can think for yourself. Now, finding a community is really important. So a lot of the times we act like our community is our little echo chamber, and to a degree it is, right? If you go on the HEX Telegram channel, you're going to see a lot of people talking about HEX because that's literally the name of the channel. Guys, I'm sure, if I go into the Bitcoin Lightning Network channel, everyone in there is talking about Bitcoin Lightning Network. It's not very popular to start bringing up altcoins in like a Bitcoin Maximalist channel. So find the group that wants what you want. And that'll really help you stand the test of time so you don't get shaken out by FUD or by groups that are actively trying to trash the project or, say bad things. If you want to, like I always say, you find what you're looking for. So if you're out there and you're Googling HEX scam, you're going to find a million reasons why people are saying it's a scam. And so I'm just here to be the voice of kind of the middle. And obviously I like HEX, right? I own HEX. Like, I'm going to say nice things about it because I want it to go up. Just like I want Bitcoin to go up, just like I want whatever bag you're holding, I hope it goes sky high, and I hope you get rich no matter who you are. Even if you're a hater, I hope you get rich. Yeah, can you believe that? If you hate me, I don't care, because first of all, thank you for even listening to me. And second of all, dude, whatever bag you have, I hope you get rich on it. So we're starting to get to a point in crypto where Bitcoin's been around for 10 years and it's becoming predictable, right? People can bet on the fact that Bitcoin is still going to be around because it's been around for so long. And those who value a more regular and recurring, predictable nature and aspect to life, they are starting to hop on the Bitcoin bandwagon, not realizing that in the early days, their personality types would have never been the type to buy Bitcoin in 2010 and 2011. Talk to almost anybody in crypto, especially that's an influencer on YouTube, and they'll tell you that they probably got in, if they're being honest, sometime after 2015 and probably sometime after 2017 even, right? Maybe you've got some that got in at 2013, but I'm talking about, think about the nerve that it would take and just the pure speculative, just I like this idea and I'm going to go for it without listening to anybody. Just think about the boldness and audacity you would have to get involved in Bitcoin in 2010, which was the first year after its creation. And that's kind of what HEX feels like right now. It's like, if you told anybody that you bought Bitcoin in 2010, people would either laugh at you or tell you you're a straight up idiot because, how could that ever possibly work? How could a digital token that, is just backed by random computer bits and code, how could that ever be worth $10,000? That would just blow everyone's mind. And so us types of high risk individuals that are really hoping for, HEX to do great things and really see the potential, we're the kind of black swan seeking, walking in a dark tunnel forever, not really able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and just hoping this works out because it's got a good foundation, good community, and so many other good things working out for it. But we're kind of banking on the fact of the super high risk, super high reward end goal. Whereas it's really easy for people that like that consistency, that like that paycheck mentality, that got into Bitcoin, maybe a few years ago because they, after it already went up a million times, it's easy for them to point fingers and say, oh, HEX will never work, right? But, the proof is in the chart, guys. HEX seems to be working. And I don't think it's going to fail as long as you can understand the premise that these whales, these anonymous whales who shall not be named, I'm pretty sure they don't have any plans on pulling out the liquidity pulling out the rug from everybody, or doing some kind of coordinated mass dump on everyone's head, just like the founders of any other coin. In order to keep their coin alive, they might own 55-60% of it, but I don't see the Link founders, or the Neo founders or the EOS founders. I don't see them dumping on everyone's head. It actually did happen in Litecoin. Charlie Lee unloaded all of his Litecoin in 2017, and Litecoin hasn't really recovered too well since then. So, anyway, guys, the word scam almost loses its meaning in this whole crypto game, right? It gets tossed around so much that it just loses its meaning. But I think that real scammers aren't going to be the kind of people that'll show you their face in public, right? Real scammers hide behind, multiple fall guys. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Plus token Ponzi scheme scammers or the one token, one coin, or even the BitConnect people. I've never seen even what they look like. So, if you think Richard Hart's a scammer, him, by even the act of making himself such a public figure, means that he's got a lot to lose if he were to be a scammer, right? So just think about that. Real scammers hide. They don't go out in public defending something that they believe that they built it, that it's awesome. They just don't. You won't see that kind of behavior from people that actually wish you harm. Anyway, some people in crypto can be short-sighted at times. And a lot of people don't even think about 1 year into the future, let alone 5 to 10, right? So the whole idea of HEX is to stake it for the long term. And everyone's talking about how this is going to fail at big payday or whatever. this is not going anywhere anytime soon. And to really reap the rewards of the success of HEX, we're talking about a 5 to 10 to 15 year plan. And hopefully this is something that can be just continue forever, for as long as the internet exists and for as long as the Ethereum blockchain exists. It's not even dependent on Ethereum too. If there were a substrate layer that was, better than Ethereum, this project, like every other ERC20, could be ported hypothetically over to that superior chain. Now, I know I could probably get a lot more clicks and a lot more subscribers telling people what they want to hear, as it's been very evident on certain people's channels. They think that the way to get clicks and the way to get likes is to hop on the bandwagon and just start hating on the popular made-up villain of the day. So I could say mean things about, Richard Hart or HEX or whatever all day long. But instead, I'm making this channel because I want to tell you guys what I want to say, not necessarily what you want to hear. And hopefully, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't trust me just because I'm wearing a jacket on a YouTube channel, but I think I've got some pretty important shit to say, so I think people might want to listen. Another thing is that I really do understand that people's scam and bullshit detectors and their scam radars are really just ringing off the hook. I mean, they have been refined for years, and anyone that survived the 2017 bubble, rightfully so, has a bullshit detector that works very, very well. The unfortunate thing is that when you make something that looks like a lot of the bullshit that you were sold in 2017, that same detector goes off, and it blinds people from the openness that it takes to think about a project critically and think about, the main mechanism and idea behind this project. This entire thing is designed to appreciate in price faster than anything in human history, which sounds crazy, but Bitcoin appreciated faster than anything else in human history. And there's a lot of design features built into HEX that are designed to make it resistant to large sell-offs, right? I didn't say it was impervious. Anything can happen. HEX can go to zero tomorrow. It can drop 95%, 85%. In fact, it probably will drop 85% at some point because there will be another bear market in crypto. However, I think timing-wise, we're seeing HEX emerge at the bottom of a bear market, maybe even into the new Bitcoin halving, potentially even kicking off or helping to kick off another crypto bull market. So anyone that, might not like HEX so much, you should try to see that we're all on the same team here, and that anybody buying into crypto is going to pump your bag as well, whatever bag you're holding, in an indirect way. When any crypto goes up, the whole market goes up. That's why you always hear the saying, when Bitcoin rises, alts rise. When alts rise, Bitcoin rises. They're tied together. They're not. Their correlation is incredibly high. If you ever actually look at the numbers, there is a strong positive correlation between altcoins and the price of Bitcoin. So what's happening a lot out there right now, guys, is people are virtue signaling. People are standing on their soapbox and using it to show you how virtuous they are, because honestly, they've probably been wrecked, or they've probably feel pretty guilty from promoting scams in the past. Anybody that promoted a coin in 2017 that lost 90% of the value, well, I'm sure they feel pretty bad because somebody probably was listening to them and bought whatever coin they were selling. Not selling, but shilling, whatever. Just talking, saying nice things about. And they probably feel partially responsible for people losing money. Now, I get that. And so virtue signaling is a thing that people do all over the place, not just in crypto. People are doing it for the whole coronavirus epidemic. People are virtue signaling that, well, for example, take the conspiracy theorists that think the coronavirus is a hoax or whatever, and they just aren't buying it. They're out there virtue signaling and protesting by, getting drunk and coughing all over each other. I mean, virtue signaling happens in everything, guys. Happens in happens when males go too far into the feminism domain. You guys know what I'm talking about. It happens all over. So virtue signaling happens every time there is a tribe and a perceived value that you can increase your status by supporting. Anyway, I have a disagreement with Richard Hart. And, I agree with him on a lot of things, but not everything. Like I said, should never have blind faith in everybody, right? Just because they exist and they're saying stuff. Now, one disagreement I have, which is a minor one, is that he often talks about there being no counterparty risk to HEX. And I think that when he says this, it's usually in the context of Uniswap and how there's no counterparty risk to Uniswap because the Uniswap's code is open source and it can't really be taken down. Now, this is actually true. So the implementation of Uniswap, hexdex.win, can't be taken down by anybody that is trying to censorship. That's yet to be seen, but it's incredibly censorship resistant because it's decentralized and on the blockchain, right? On the Ethereum public blockchain. However, the term, people might confuse that with no counterparty risk at all, which I have to disagree with, right? So I think there's fundamental counterparty risk in everything. Every crypto, every stock, a lot of things in the world have some level of counterparty risk. So what I'll say about HEX is I think that it's not that it has no counterparty risk, but it has very minimal counterparty risk. So we have to be honest with ourselves, right? There's whales in HEX. There's whales that own a large percentage of HEX. I've never denied that. And it's pretty much the main complaint that a lot of people have. But I think a better way to frame it is that it's minimal counterparty risk compared to what else you see out there. I mean, Bitcoin has counterparty risk in terms of the government of China could just tell the electric companies to shut the miners down. Basically, it's simple though, guys. I think this is a minimal counterparty risk because every coin has whales, and how many of them have been destroyed because of the actions of their whales? A lot of them have just been speculative bubbles that have been, bought and sold and bursted over time. So I think it's really simple, guys. You're only getting scammed if the whales deliberately coordinate an effort to fuck everybody on the same day at the same time. And I think it's a pretty obvious bet that they're not going to. Now, you can make whatever logic you want in your head. That's just what I'm going to go with. So we'll see who's right and wrong, but no need to, be hateful or spiteful just because you don't agree with the project. And also be wary of anybody talking in absolutes out there. I see a lot of people saying stuff like, HEX will definitely dump on big payday, or HEX is definitely a scam. Or, alternatively, that HEX will definitely go up in price, that HEX is definitely going to the moon. Anybody that talks in absolutes like that, where they say definitely, without a doubt, they know something, we should be highly skeptical of anybody claiming that they know anything, right? Nobody really knows shit, to be honest, at the end of the day. We think things and we have reason to believe things, and it's all a spectrum of probability. But maybe not. Man, it's all a spectrum. So you'll never hear me say HEX is definitely gonna, make you a millionaire overnight. It's definitely going to the moon. No, I don't talk like that. But what I do say is I think it's likely based on the information that I have. And, we should all really be on the same team. It's Team Crypto. It's not Team HEX versus Team Bitcoin. It's Team Crypto adoption, right? And so why try to stop this crypto? Why try to censor it when you really can't because it's an open, decentralized ERC20 token? It's going to exist whether you like it or not. But it's going to get people onboarded into crypto. And so if you think adoption is good, you should be happy that people are adopting this, which is clearly depicted by the price increase on this chart here. The chart does not go up if people don't buy, and people don't adopt if they don't buy the coins. That's literally what adoption is. Adoption is buying is price increase. Simple as that. They're one and the same. So there's a lot of smart people out there too, a lot of highly intelligent people that are also quick to put HEX in a box and put a lot of things in a box by taking a reductionist viewpoint on things. So I think that intelligence can also blind you if you don't have some degree of openness as well. So it takes, not gullibility, not believing everything everybody says, but having a degree of open-mindedness along with the intelligence will, I think, allow people to really succeed in life. Now, there's something that I read from Nassim Taleb. He calls it the Lindy effect. The Lindy effect is a theory that future life expectancy of some non-perishable things, such as a technology or an idea, is proportional to their current age. So you can assume that every additional period of survivorship it implies a longer remaining life expectancy. And, I thought that this was pretty interesting, especially in terms of Bitcoin. So the longer Bitcoin exists and doesn't die, forecasts the future potential life expectancy of its existence. So it's basically saying that mortality rate decreases with time. But then I found this other contradictory thing that Nassim Taleb also had in his book, which he pointed out was the survivorship bias. The survivorship bias is the logical error of concentrating on the people or things that made it past a selection process and overlooking those that did not. An example of this would be people that survive, a group of mice that survives being irradiated, for example. And some of these mice might survive while many will die. And we might assign traits to the surviving mice that the surviving mice are stronger. But in reality, all the mice were made weaker because of the radiation. So that mouse might not have necessarily been stronger, or might not be stronger today just because it survived, right? So the survivorship bias can lead to false conclusions in different ways. It's also a form of selection bias. So it can lead to overly optimistic beliefs because failures are ignored, such as when companies that no longer exist are excluded from analysis of financial performance. So, it has to do with a lot of the silent evidence out there. We don't look at all the dead people. We don't look at all of the failures. So it can basically, so that's kind of my question for you guys, maybe in the comments, if you have any ideas. Do the Lindy effect and survivorship bias contradict each other, or can both of these ideas live together? And if you think about Bitcoin, does the Lindy effect, by virtue of Bitcoin surviving for 10 years, imply that it might live another 100? Or are we all using survivorship bias about Bitcoin and making the error that just because Bitcoin survived a lot of potential attacks and hard forks and all this complicated stuff, that it's really stronger because of that? We don't necessarily see all of the failures that all of the coins that died when we look at survivorship bias. So the logical fallacy here is that correlation proves causality rather than just coincidence. So what do you think, guys? Is the fact that Bitcoin is the dominant cryptocurrency all just luck? And if so, does that mean that really any potential cryptocurrency has a shot of that number one spot based on a lot more luck than we think, right? So that also goes into the narrative fallacy too. We love to tell narratives about why Bitcoin is the best, but just because it has survived, does that mean that it's not well suited to be dethroned? And, I know that's hearsay to some of you people, but, let me know in the comments. Well, guys, if you stuck around this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that you're all subscribed and tuned in to what's going on with HEX and crypto and just life in general, philosophy, economics, and thanks for listening to whatever I want to talk about. Glad you liked it. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like. I want to get this channel to, much bigger than it really is, and really start to expand it beyond just HEX and talk about so many different things. I've got big plans to, interview lots of interesting people in the future, but that all starts with you liking and subscribing. Also, if you want to buy HEX, click the links in the description below. You'll get 10% more. I'll get a kickback as well, but we both get more HEX, and, jump on it. Anyway, guys, as always, keep calm, HEX on, and have a good rest of your day.